Hey there, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Today is Thursday, December 26th, 2019. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and were able to relax and spend time with family and friends and enjoy the holiday. I wanted to get an update out last week after our trip to Italy, but I came down with a cold and didn't want to try to talk and do this video with a stuffed up head, but I'm feeling better now and wanted to kind of give you guys a recap of our trip and show you some of the equipment that we saw over in Italy. First, here's a picture of the group of us. There were 7 of us that went to Italy, and here we are enjoying our first meal when we got to town. We were all pretty tired. This was on Sunday, the day we landed, and we're all ready to go to sleep at that point, but we needed some food. This next picture is us working with the Italians, sitting in the Prezzetzi's offices, going over the project, going over the equipment. This was pretty much an everyday occurrence. We sat in this conference room for the better part of the day each day. So, but anyway, to start out with, I want to show you a couple pictures. Here's the press. Here's what our press looks like sitting in their workshop. We did get to see this press turned on and actually moving around, and it was pretty awesome to see the press actually moving. Another view of the press, looking at it from the front, kind of up above, and kind of gives you an idea of what this thing looks like. This third picture is the ZPE heater, the magnetic heater that we've talked about, the high efficiency heating equipment that we're buying with this. It'll use up to 40% less electricity to heat our aluminum billets. So one of the things I want to highlight today is the magnetic billet heater, or the ZPE heater, as Prezzetzi calls it. Zero pollution energy, or something like that is the acronym. Want to show you what that machine does, how it heats a billet. First off, I want to show you a couple pictures. Here's our existing induction heater. So this unit is what heats our billets today on the Lowy press. Uses a very large amount of electricity, acts kind of like a solenoid coil if anybody's familiar with it. And this right here is the coil, as it's called, the induction coil. The billet goes inside of this gray coil. The electricity is turned on to that coil, and after about 70 seconds it heats that billet from room temperature up to 850 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in there, that's usable to put in the press and extrude from. So that's what our induction heater looks like today. It's called a Magnathermic, that's the brand name of it. But next I want to show you a video of what we saw in Italy. We actually got to see our ZPE heater heating aluminum billets. I got to see it heating some billets from room temperature up to an extrudable temperature of 800 plus degrees Fahrenheit. So take a look at this video. I'm going to clip through some of this. I just want you to keep in mind that this is in a workshop environment, so it's not at full speed. They're running all the motions of this overhead crane, and the heater itself, all the motions are running in a slower than normal operating speed. So I might jump ahead and skip through some of this, but watch this billet get heated up. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, huh? Guys, this thing is amazing. It's hard to see, but when that magnetic coil released off of that billet was, started at room temperature and was over 800 degrees. And like I said, I clipped out some of the time in there. It takes a lot longer than that to heat, but all it is a rotor with a bunch of magnets on it, just spinning at a set speed. The controller tells it what speed to spin at. Those magnets spin, and what's cool about that too is you notice there's 3 sections to that coil, and as it heated you could see it kind of going back and forth. Well, what it was doing is it was getting those magnets over the dead spots that are in between those 2 sections, so that the entire billet is heated evenly at the end of the cycle, or tapered. Sometimes you want to run a billet that's hotter in the front up by the die to make sure it starts easier, but then as the friction and everything happens inside of the container as you're extruding, that billet will actually can increase temperature. The die increases temperature, so you don't want that billet to be as hot on the end of it at the end of your extrusion as it is at the beginning. So with 3 coils spinning around there, you can spin each one of those at different speeds and create what's called a taper. So you can have hot on the front and up to 150 degrees cooler on the back. And what that does is it gives you a better control over your extrusion overall. It's something that can be done with induction, but with this magnetic heater, it can be controlled very minutely compared to an induction heater. So that's all I've got for you. I wanted to just highlight that particular piece of equipment today, that ZPE heater. Like I said, it's the first one that'll be in the United States, 6th or so in the world. So Przezy obviously is very excited to get one of these pieces of equipment in the United States. We're very excited to get that in here for the efficiency, the speed of it, the accuracy of it. We're super excited to get that equipment in here. So everything else on the project going very well. The building is coming up nicely. The 3.5-inch press that was needing to be moved is moved and operational. Our maintenance team did a fantastic job getting that press equipment moved in a short time frame. They hit their schedule right on. Actually, they finished up early. So big shout out to our maintenance crew for the fantastic job they did up here on that project, and all the operators that pitched in. It wasn't just the maintenance guys, it was a team effort that made that project go off without a hitch. So coming up in January, we're going to start pouring some cement for the Przezy equipment. Now that we signed off on acceptance of the press in Italy, they'll start tearing that all down, loading it onto ships, and in February they'll start shipping it over here. 63 shipping containers is what they're determining will be required to get that entire press line over here. So, and that'll be over the course of 2 or 3 months. They're not going to ship all 63 at one time. They're going to stage that so that as the containers arrive, we'll put equipment in. So just that part, just the logistics is going to be a feat, but we have faith in our supplier, Przezy, to help us through that and get that equipment delivered and installed. So till next time, thanks everybody for what you're doing, and we'll catch you again soon. Thanks.